Hello, it's Eve. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go through a sweater modification with you. This is a merino men's sweater that I've had for a while now. I plan to cut it up. It's a round neck. I don't like round necks to be quite so close to my neck. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it open down the middle. We're going to add in a zipper. Let me show you the options. I did a story on my Insta a couple of weeks ago. I'm still not sure which one I'm going to use until we get there, but they're all open-ended zippers, so you'll see how to install one. We are going to need some knit interfacing in order to stabilize the center front before we cut it, and I thought I'd also add some rib detailing, so we might use this on the cuffs and on the neckline. So basically I figure we could apply the ribbing just to kind of reinforce the cuffs so they don't go a bit new. So that's the plan. Let's go for it. So you can use this method to like find some amazing sweaters for people. You could upcycle them in this way or refashion them slightly in this way and give them as gifts. So perfect for the holiday season as well if you want to be a little bit more thrifty. So let's roll with it. So the first thing you're going to want is your interfacing. I had to go all the way to Utrecht to get this because I needed a knit interfacing. So it has that stretchability still. You can see it's quite sheer, but there is a very clear gluiness. So what I'm going to do is just turn my sweater inside out. I'm going to find the center front because obviously we can guess it or we can do it accurately. And I'm just going to pin that center front so that I know what I'm looking at, okay? I'm just going to chalk along that fold line so that we know exactly where the center front is. So once you've chalked it into place, you can remove those pins and then open up your sweater. You can see we've got a nice straight line down the center front now. Now we need to cut a piece of knit interfacing that is the accurate length, making sure that we've got it on the right grain. So I want the stretch to be going across the body. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut a length with my gnarly scissors. I always use old knackety ones for interfacing just to make sure. And then I want to cut, I suspect that that fold line that I've got actually is probably perfect. Double check it against the zipper. Yep, perfect. So I'm just going to cut along that fold line, which is actually approximately, so I'm going to be cutting it about 3 centimeters or 1¼ inches. These scissors might have passed it actually. Okay, the next step is to press this down the center front, but I won't cut it until I've pressed it and shown you what it looks like. Okay, make sure you're applying the correct side down to the reverse. So this is the wrong side. And because we're going to cut straight down that, I want to line it up right down the middle. I need to turn my iron down a bit. And I'm just going to continue. I should probably have a pressing cloth, but in theory, you probably want to mark a really straight line down here. So let me grab my pattern master. So I got my chalk and I'm just going to mark a line here and about halfway, and then we'll just score a line. Don't know if you can see that. It's not showing up so great on the camera. Is that better? Yeah, you can see that. Okay. Now we're going to cut it. So I'm going to cut directly down that line that we just marked in. Careful not to cut through the underlayer. Ta-da! That is a very scary activity. Okay, so now we've got to decide which zipper we want to use. Let me grab them. So we are going to go with the grey ribbing for the collar and the cuffs and maybe the waistband as well, the hem. I'm not sure yet, but it's possible we will add it. So the obvious choice would be the grey. That would work. We could go with the kind of like beigey taupe. Black I think we can get rid of. I'm not vibing with that. I feel like the white is too stark. People who voted on my Instagram stories really like the red. So let's just have a look at how that might look. So imagine we've got the red zipper. Would I have it facing on or would I have it on the underside? Okay, let's pretend that that's open and that we have like a little bit of a collar going on. I'm not sure. It gives it quite a sporty vibe. Okay, I've decided I'm going to go with the red. Just because I think it's going to be easier to work with the zipper. Let's just do it. We'll save this one for another day. So what we first need to do is decide if we're going to add any ribbing to the hem as well, because obviously the zipper is longer than the sweater itself. So I'm just gonna lay it out so I can see how long it is. Okay, so I either need to add about 4 centimeters to the band. Well, actually I'd want to cover this as well, so it'd be more than that. It'd be 8 centimeters of the ribbing around the bottom, or we could add 4 centimeters, or we could even join it straight up. And then I could do, instead of like a round crew neck kind of, I could add like a funnel neck around. If I were to add 4 centimeters at the bottom, that would look like that much on the hem, and then I'd add that same amount on the top as well as like a little roll collar. It's a bit itchy, this fabric, the rib. I think it's got some wool in it. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna add it top, bottom, so around the neck, around the waist, and around the cuffs as well. And with this, we're just gonna do it, okay? Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. I just want to take a moment to say that I'm really nervous about doing this. I know I've already cut up the front, but it's a really nice merino sweater. And I'm worried that if I go with the red and put the ribbon on, I'm going to ruin it. But I'm going to do it so that I can show it to you. And at the very worst, I can just use it as a jumper for slouching around at home, like a zippy sweater. But I've never done this before. So let's see if it'll work out. And if it does, yay, you can follow it too. And if it doesn't, it's a disaster and we won't ever speak about it again. Okay, so to make my life easier, we're going to do some marking. Okay, so that's where the hem is. And then if we follow it up, we're also going to do it, one sec, on the neck section here, because that's where we're going to have to apply our rib. Okay, and we want that to be consistent. Now that we have that done, turn the zipper over. I'm just going to pin it in place. Okay, the reason for that is because I don't want to lose track of where I am. Okay. We can also, so I'm a little bit worried that the zip will bubble, but we're not actually going to be really pressing it a lot, so it should be all right. If you wanted to use clips, you could instead of pins. So I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Okay, now we're going to sew that on. Before we sew, actually, we're just going to work out how much of this we need. So I think if I use, because it's just a little bit smaller than what I've already got there, and it's stretchy, obviously. So I think I can just cut a strip. This is rib that's created in the round. So I need to measure how deep I want the ribbing to be. Okay, so we're going up to here, to the hem, a seam allowance times 2. You can see how I'm like being really exact here, not. Okay, so that we can then measure. Get this out of the way. I can't actually see the numbers on here. Oh, let me use my tape measure. Okay, so it's about 16 centimeters, just over. No, I'm just going to do it. This is the cheats method, okay? Yes! Winner. Okay, that's for our hem. Now we're going to do the same thing for the cuffs, because we've got 2 cuffs. Did I just cut it from this side? I think I did. We're just going to cut straight over that. And that should leave us enough for, that's quite a nice chunky cuff actually, isn't it? That'll leave us enough for the neckband. So just to clarify, I started with a total of 16 by 16 is 32 plus another 48, like half a meter roughly of this knit fabric. Okay, so this one is for the wrists. So we're literally going to cut this one in half. It's not quite 42, about 40 centimeters wide in total. So we're going to go straight down the middle. So 42 is 21. Okay, so I'm just going to pin these together so I know that these are the cuffs. And we're going to set that to one side. Now the idea with the collar is that it's going to pull it in. So I'm going to start by measuring. We want a little bit of the rib to show. Okay, 58, 56 maximum. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is cut it up the middle. Then we're going to measure 56. Sorry, I know sometimes I'm thinking out loud and doing this as I go. I'm winging it, so it does kind of mean that I'm making it up as I go along. Okay, we got slight discrepancies there. This isn't set in stone. We might actually make this shallower because I haven't double checked it against the neck zipper section. We might even curve it in. I don't know yet. Okay, so we're just going to leave that as is for now. We want that, and that's all good. So actually I've decided I'm not going to serge anything, and that is because not everybody has a serger. I feel like it makes it more accessible if I do it as someone who doesn't have a serger, because I actually very rarely use mine. I wonder if I should attach the ribbing first and then no, we're gonna do it. We can do this. It's okay. If it's wrong, we're flummoxed and we'll change it. I need to change my foot. We have a zipper foot. We are going to, I'm going to start from down here because of the bulkiness. I might have to hand sew that top section. Come on, you can do it. My Benina's given me a lot of trouble recently. We are starting, so I'm going to keep the zipper flush with here. That should give us enough motion space. I'm going to take out my pin and off we go. Ah, why is it doing that? Hang on a second. Now I've got to stop and think because we're going to be applying rib. I'm not sure how we're doing that yet. I'm going to stop here. So we've got that kind of red, and I think I will want to like stitch it down. Maybe with like, I don't have a matching red thread though. I did try and find one, but I couldn't find one. And that will just hold it neater. That's my thinking. Let's have a look at the top. So we didn't close this off yet. So now I'm going to do the other side quickly and then ponder what we're going to do with the ribbing. So for the other side, we've got the same situation. I'm coming from the same direction because I want to maintain consistency. But the problem we have is it means I'm now sewing the knit fabric on top of the zipper tape. So that may or may not be problematic. It may stretch. We just don't know. If it does, I'm going to have to start again. So I'm going to backtack a little, but I'm not going beyond that rib because we obviously need to deal with that afterwards. Okay, that'll do for now. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Now, don't feel like I can seal this down, like stitch it down to permanently secure it. I can't get my words today. I can't do that until we've got the neck thingy. Okay, this is the right side, wrong side. I think it's up to you which side you have. They're kind of a similar. I'm gonna have this side. Now, what I'm gonna need to do is attach it to here because I'm gonna want to enclose the zipper. We're going to pin it. Now this, my machine may or may not be able to hold this, we don't know. What we're going to do is we're also going to find the center of it because the center is going to need to be the back section, like the center back. I'm going to whack a pin in there and then we're going to attach it. So I'm going to find that center back, I'm going to line the two up together and then secure. We could actually take that label off. Then we're going to line up the front again on the other side. We've got too much. We want it to be a little bit shorter, don't we? Now, we've also got to think, okay, so that's going to get rolled over. We want to pull this in a little bit. Like that's kind of traditionally how you would sew it. So we want to go from the reverse actually, because we want to be able to stretch out the rib. I'm totally winging this. I don't know if you can tell. Winging it, winging it, winging it. I haven't worked with knit fabrics in this way for, gosh, years. I'm not a knit kind of fabric person. I love knits, but I'm not one for making them. And then, so we're going to want to be able to go up and enclose. I'm going to leave an extra centimeter just to make sure. So we're going to take off. Oh, we can't go over it, can we? Silly sausage. We're going to go like that. This video is going to need so much editing. Now we measure how much we've got here, because then that would go, it's like that, right? This may or may not work. I feel like I want to zoom it as well. Let's cut that off. Okay, I'm going to be brave. Which one do I want to cut it along? Sometimes you just got to do it, and if you mess up, you mess up, isn't it? Let's just trim it along there. Best hope I haven't made a mess up now. So now that we've done that, we're going to review where we're at. So obviously it needs to go up and enclosed and go back down. Yeah, so I don't think we can, I'm just trying to think. We're just gonna have to go with it and then fold it over and make it like a mock turtleneck, I think, because I won't be able to get the shaping in. The zipper's too high. Like, look, if we're here and we go like here, and let's say that's there, by the time I folded it down, I don't have enough space to make it curve upwards around the back of the neck. I should have cut it longer, but I didn't have enough, so it's fine. We're gonna sew this on, let's do it. I'm also gonna point out that I'm only doing halfway because I mess it up. I've got enough space then to undo it. So the rib is going underneath. Why was I putting the rib underneath? I can't remember. Oh, I could probably use a proper foot now. And we want to be zipping along on that fold line. So we're actually losing quite a bit of rib. Hey ho. You ready? We're doing it. Quite like that, don't you? I think that's kind of nice, kind of a little bit sporty. It's very masculine, I feel. Is it masculine or is it just more sporty than I'm used to? So I think it's more masculine. I'm going to struggle to stitch with my Benina on this. So my thinking is if I push the original neckline down and the new rib neckline up, that'll create a flatter. Can you see that? I mean, it's still bulky. What I'll do is I'll trim it coming in to the zipper. Then we sew the zipper up to here. Trim, do something with this section. Turn it under. And that will enclose it like so. I'm just not going to be able to top stitch along here because of that amount of bulk. My merino will really struggle to handle that. And then of course we need to work out how we finish it on this side. Are we just going to fold it and stitch it and try to stitch in the ditch? So many possibilities. Okay, I've just trimmed the second piece from here like I did for the first half. Now we can sew that section. So I'm going to do the same thing that I just did, which is to sew with the rib underneath because it was just easier that way. And then we're going to turn back the zipper. I'm going to pin it, kind of the same thing. Okay, now we're ready to sew. Okay, the next step is to finish stitching the zipper to, so we need to change the feet again. We're running out of light. So I think what I'm going to do is to speed the whole thing up a little bit. I'm hoping you can see this okay. So obviously I want this to look like this. So what I'm going to do, I'll just twice I'll shut that now. So I'm going to scroll that in so it's contained like this. I'm going to bend back the ribbing over itself like so. I'm going to pin it into place and I'm hoping my machine can handle this. And what we're going to do, she says, is attempt to sew from here up to secure it all, turn it inside out. Let's do it. This may or may not work. It's probably a disaster, but you know, if we don't try. It's how I would like finish in woven. Oh my gosh, it's not even going to fit underneath my foot. Look, it's not even going to fit. Oh no. Too many layers, my friends. Too many layers. Okay, don't tell anyone, but I've wedged it under. This may not work. I figure there's no harm in trying, okay? So we're going to try. We're going to have to pull out a whole bunch of pins and squish it down as we go. Okay, let's do this. We're going to go back and forwards. Okay. Wish me luck, folks. Wish me luck. I don't even know if I'm sewing over my actual zipper by accident. We gotta get rid of that pin. Okay, we're gonna be okay, I think. Here we go. Should we look? I feel like a naughty schoolgirl is getting into trouble. Ready? Dun, dun, dun. So obviously I'm gonna trim all of this away, but oh, whoa! Look at that. See. We didn't go quite as close as I would like to. I might have to hand stitch it. So we've got like quite a big wedge, but that would just stick that back in there. Look, that's all right, isn't it? The true test is if we zip it and it works. So, ta-da! Oh my goodness gracious me. So it's going to start off short and then it's going to get a bit chunkier at the top. What do we think? Pretend that looks the same. I quite like that actually. What do you think? And then I could finish it on the inside, press or stitch these open, and then we'll just maneuver it so that we are, look, that looks all right, doesn't it? What do we think? I feel like I should try it on. Let's have a sneak peek. Which side is it? Oh, this is the finished side. Okay, I'm working in reverse. Oh, I don't know if I like that. It definitely has more of a sporty vibe. Keep my neck warm in the winter. I really don't like turtlenecks on me though. It makes me feel like I'm not very... And maybe I'll end up just having it open, which means that needs to be finished neatly. And this all needs to be top stitched into place so it sits nicely, because at the moment it's just a poof. And then I'll have cuffs on here as well, so it'll be like cozy on the arms, cozy on the waist. I don't know that I'm going to get this done ready for when it's supposed to go live tomorrow. What's the day? Tuesday. It's supposed to go up tomorrow. Running out of light. Not sure it's going to happen. Let's continue. I've removed the label because it's going to end up getting in the way. And doop, 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 doop. We are ready to go. I now need to do the same what I did to this side to this side. I'm going to fold that open like I did before. I might need to unpick a stitch or two. Came up a little bit too high, didn't I? Do you remember? So we go like this. We go like this. We go like this. It's very brain aching trying to remember how to do it. We go like this, then we go like that, and then did we fold that back like that and that like that? I feel like this is an accurate thing. All right, I feel like that's good. Let's just compare it. Yeah, sticky out, sticky out. Yeah, we're good. All right, let's do it. There's like this mass scratching as I try to get it underneath the presser foot. Now, did I do 1 centimeter or did I just loiter? Oh, we don't want to go all that way down, do we? We want to start from here. My thinking is we're going to open it, turn it. Oh no, look, we've got that. Oh, we need to hide that bendy bit. Okay, that's one side. I feel like we can do that again, but closer to the actual zipper. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's not as close as it could be. That one's better. This one's too far away. Is that the one we did before or the one that we just did? We're going to do this one again. Do you know what? Just because I can, because it's all stitched in place, I'm going to sew as close to the zipper. Actually, there's no point because I still need to do the hem. Indecisions. So we're not going to do that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to attach the waistband. And the reason for this is because we're wearing out a light and then I can do the entire zipper in one go. So this is our waistband part. How was I going to attach it? Clearly not in one piece. So I'm going to have to cut one edge, obviously, because how else are we going to actually attach it? I'm supposed to be taking photos, so this could go on the website as well. But the light's too poor. Do we feel like that is the same all the way along? I don't know. Okay, we were using the innards, so we're going to do the same thing. I feel like actually we might have a little bit too... What are we going to do about that? That's going there. We're going to attach this to that, aren't we? Like we did before. But we want to do it on the reverse so that we're stretching the rib from underneath. So we're going to go up like that and we'll swing it. How long is that? Is that too long? Oh no, that's fine. Look, it's only a little bit short, so we should be fine. A little bit snug, cozy. We don't want it to be too tight, do we? So we've got to unpick the zipper because we started stitching the zipper too far down, if you remember earlier. Then we're going to line it up. And then just kind of freehanding this. I should probably measure it out, but you know, sometimes everything doesn't have to be perfect. So you can see that we're going to stretch that. And then we've got too much in the back. So we're going to trim some actually. Okay, let's trim the same amount that we did for the neckline. Maybe a bit more than that. You know, we're going to take out a wedge like that much. As I said, no rhyme or reason. The only thing I'm going to do is make a note because I'll want to add that to the article. So let's try that again. I'm going to have to stop, I think, because the light's going crazy. It's like 4:30. I can't see without putting the light on, and the light will ruin the video because it's nasty light. So I'm going to stop where I am and I'm going to come back tomorrow. Yesterday I had marked in on the waistband section all the key points that match with the centre back and the side seams of the sweater / cardigan project. I can't actually do what I did with the collar and wrap the entire hem like this because, as you can see, I have the doodah, what's it thing? I forgot what it's called. Zipper. So what I need to do is sew about 1 centimeter like that, wrap it over like that, and then have a seam allowance here as well. So the plan is to, as we did on the collar, we want to sew along this natural line between the ribbing and the main stocking stitch of the knit fabric. But obviously I can't see what I'm doing underneath because the rib is underneath. So we're going to pin it all in position with about a 1 centimeter seam allowance. It's going to take a little bit of time because I've also got to stretch out the rib, do it neatly, but that's what I'm going to do now and I'll come back after. So that has taken me forever. I use my seam gauge, this tool here, in order to measure from this line up a certain amount, and then I've pinned it into place, and I've done that all the way along the entire length, and now I can just sew straight along here, being careful not to capture the zippers. So I'm going to do that first, then I'll check back in with you. So start by making sure that your zipper is out of the way. We do not want to accidentally sew that. And I'm just going to line up the foot and the needle. Going to remove that first pin, back stitch, and on we go. We are stitched into place, as you can see. Now we can continue with the zipper attachment. I think I'm gonna sew it like this, so it's all the way down. Oh, I gotta come. Do you know what? can I move that up there? Yeah, I can. Yay. Just because I want the bulk out the way. So I want this, like this, and like this. So that's all gonna get sewn together, those layers there. And I'm only sewing as far as here. And the reason for that is because then I'll turn it all through and I will be able to have a nice clean finish. Assuming I can get all this under my sewing machine. Okay, because that'll all get turned then on the inside. So that's what we're going to do. Wish me luck. All these scraggly bits. Let's try it. Okay, I've switched back to my zipper foot just because we want to get as close as we can. Come on, we can do it. My goodness, this is going to be a struggle. Where's my magic? We want to maintain that 1 centimeter seam allowance. Okay, you ready? Wish me luck. Oh, that's right on the edge. Hang on, we're going to come in a little bit. I think I'm going to have to roll back by hand because of how tight that feels. Oh my gosh, there's so much fabric in there. Okay, phew. Okay, let's pull this baby through. Let's see what we've got. You ready? Ta-da! Oh, I've just missed it there, look. You see? Grr. It's incredibly bulky. We have a nice clear separate. I feel like this should be stuck more in, but I don't know how to get it closer with my sewing machine being as finicky as it is. Maybe I'll try get a little bit closer now. Look at all the threads. Oh, that's from the original, actually. Okay, I think we're probably better now. Yay! You see that? Much closer, much better. So I do need to trim some of that bulk. That's probably like, it's over 1 centimeter of bulk right there. I'm loath to trim the zipper itself. We could trim some of that original here because we've got the interfacing on it. We can trim the folded back section, and we can trim some of this part here. Oh yay, that's not really any better, but you know, it's because I've got the hem in there as well as the 2 layers of, well, multiple layers of ribbing now. But doesn't that look lovely? Look at that. Ooh. Yeah, we'll ignore that bit there. Cool. All right, so now we've got to do the other side. I'm not going to do that one on camera because you've already seen it. I'm just going to speed through it. So I've pinned into place the neckline. As you can see, I've pinned it from the right side, and then I can catch all of that by stitching in the ditch. That's the plan, and hopefully it'll work. As I said, I've never done this one before. And now I'm working on the hem. So I'm again doing the same thing. I'm pinning it from the right side so I can stitch in the ditch. I feel like there needs to be something within, but I mean, I think I'm so used to elasticated waistbands that I feel like I should have elastic in here, but actually I've tried this on and it fits really nicely. It's snug, which I like. I don't want it to be tight. So all I'm doing is I'm rolling over. So I'm allowing it to line naturally and I'm spacing it apart. So I'm not like, you know, forcing the fabric to be where it doesn't want to. Turning it over by about 1 centimeter. Then I'm maybe a touch more than that actually. Then I'm lining it up with the original stitch line at the original hem join. It wasn't really a join because it was rib grown on. And then I'm just pinning in the direction, towards the direction that I'll be sewing from. So I'm going to sew, and you can see my pin is ticked away now. So what I'll do is I'll be stitching in the ditch and catching here that rib. So I'm going to continue and then I'll show you the sewing process. I've got the waistband attached, ready to sew. Neckline's ready to sew. I'm just going to prepare the cuffs actually so that I can sew everything in one go. So I've trimmed down and we have 20 centimeters by 16 centimeters deep. Obviously that's going to take away, they're not going to be massively extended, but that's fine. So I'm going to sew down the outer edge, probably like 1 centimeter. I've got 2 cuffs, of course, so I'll do 1 and then this one, 2. Then when I've done that, I'm going to pop them over the existing cuffs to cover what's already there, but I'll show you that process. I have sewn up my cuffs. We have this sleeve is inside out and the cuff is outside in, the other way basically. I'm going to line up those seams. Okay, where's that stitch line? It's so easily hidden I can't even tell. And I'm actually going to make the green sit a little bit over it because I want to kind of make the cuffs a little bit longer than they are. So I'm going to overhang by probably like 1 centimeter and pin in place. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I've actually got more rib than I need, but it's fine because I want it to be able to go around my hand and keep the tops of my hand snug. I've overlapped it by about 1 centimeter and again pin. I feel like that should be down a bit. Now we're set and we can sew along here. And we're going to repeat that for both sides. Ta-da! Okay, we're stitching in the ditch. This is going to be fun because it's all a bit bulky, but I'm trying to keep stretching the fabric out so that the stitches don't snap. I don't have enough room to work. Okay, this is where we hit like bulk, mass bulk. arms through. It's not quite what I was hoping for, but it will do. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you can see everything clearly. The light's fading, it's dark, it's freezing cold here in the Netherlands at like, well, it has been since Friday. It's worked out really well for me. I've got the cuffs keeping my hands warm. I'm wearing it on top of my merino base layer because it has been like 1 and 2 degrees here centigrade since Friday. But here is what the waistband looks like on, the zipper down the center, and then I've just got this gifted thing on top to keep me warm. It's really cozy. It's the easiest way. Create like a gift that's a refashion project. If you've got someone in your family who has jumpers and sweaters that they love but they don't wear anymore because maybe they're a bit snug, you can just cut them open, pop a zipper in, play around with some rib. You could even make like your own kind of ribbing. It doesn't have to be actual knit rib. You could make your own like elasticated cuffs on the arms and around the waist. So many things you can do, but I hope you found this really inspiring and informative and helpful. And thank you so much for watching. If you could give the video a like, that'd be really helpful to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and I will see you next week for a new video. Take care of you. Bye.